I'd like to welcome you to our series of live instructional webinars designed to support the school annual yearbook program. Our goal today will be to introduce principals, the participants to the functions of the yearbook program, beginning with the beginning of the stages of creating the yearbook. Specifically, we'll be reviewing logging into the program, familiarization with the welcome screen and page ladder, font section, creating an image share account, transferring materials from a previous year's book to the current year's book, and leading into the next installment, the importance of sending us your CD portraits from your photographer. This webinar will be approximately 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and get started. So to log into your site, in case you haven't logged in already, you go to the school annual website right here. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see the word login. So we're just going to click that right there. And in here, we're going to enter our information. So we'll enter our job number, our username, and then our password. And this is information that should have been provided to you by your advisor. We'll click the purple button right here that says let go. Let's go. For any reason that you forget your password, you can click this link right here, forgot your password, and just follow the steps to retrieve your password. All right, so we're going to go right here. We're going to go into our home screen. And right here is our home screen. Your school name will be right here. Mine says Sunrise Demo because this is my demo account. And we're going to talk about these little boxes right here. The first box you see right here is your due date countdown. So this will tell you how much time you have left to complete your book and how much time you have, uh, and how many hours and stuff like that. You should know what your due date is. For any reason that um, you don't, please check with your advisor. It's also helpful to set like a soft date that may be a couple of weeks before your due date to kind of help finalize your book. Make sure everything is looking good and everything is ready to finally uh, complete. Next is your year to date sales. Here is where you'll see previous year's sales and your current year sales, so you can kind of see how things are stacking up. Right here is total number of pages. Each one is different. Mine says 60. Here you will have a ring, and in that ring, they will see different colors. So red is not started. These are pages that have nothing put on them. Nothing um, has been touched right there. And real quick, if you could please make sure you're put on mute so that the recording is as clean as possible. Thank you. Next, you will see that we have the yellow, which is in progress. Uh, these are pages that have something saved on them or something that is on them um, already done up or something that was on them, but anyway, they were now in progress. Next is green. These are pages that are complete. Everything is finalized on them, and you're getting ready to submit those. Next is black. This is submitted. These are pages that are turned into us to be ready to print. And we'll talk more about the completed submitted later on in a different webinar. Next is upcoming events. These are events that are upcoming, such as making sure your pages are ready to go, make sure things are turned in, the cover's turned in, this is turned in, that's turned, whatever needs to be done, turned in, or make sure that you have certain things completed and ready to go. Next is tasks. Task right here, it could be anything from get names, get photos from this event, from that event, and stuff like that. So that you can assign to other people. To get to those, you can click on one or the other. Takes you to both of them. Just click this plus sign right here, and pop up will pop. The only reason I'm not clicking on it is for some reason it messes up the my login, and then with something with Teams and this, it's messing it up. So that's why I'm not clicking on it. Sorry, with go to meetings and this, it's messing up. So you'll see a little pop up. You'll have like a name, a date, and a category, a color you can pick like a teal or red, depending on what you want, and then hit add, and it'll add it right here. Tasks, here you will click this plus sign, pop up appears, and it will have like the name of the task, who do you can assign it to, and a due date. Once it's completed, you just click this little box right here that's been completed. A complete date will show up, and this task will just fall to the very bottom. Next is tagged images. This tells you just how many images are tagged. We'll talk about tagging in another webinar. Next is images. This tells you how many images are currently in your library and how many were uploaded by your staff. That includes you, the advisor, and as well as your other staff members. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about how to add staff. So we're going to go to plan and then staff. And here you can add staff members. You can also add other advisors if you want. To do so, click on the add staff. Here you can put sorry, here you can put their name, last name, and a username could be anything they want. First name, last name, first initial, last name, whatever you want the username to be, whatever will be easy to remember. Next is a password. The password is 10 digits, with one being a capital letter and a number. Next is the roles. Here you can assign them as if it's someone that you can trust to be an advisor, you can assign them as an advisor. Advisor has control over the whole entire site. They have access to everything. So make sure it's someone that you can trust to be an advisor. Staff has a very limited role. Usually you would assign students to a staff role. Once that is done, just click save, and then it will come back here, and there's where you can find your staff members. If for any reason they forget their password, just click on edit, and then you can go in and change their password. If for any reason they step away because of sports or because of something, and they aren't able to help with the book right now, but they'll come back a little bit later, you can come over to active, click this button, and it just marks them inactive. It just means they can't log in. So it means that somebody can't use maybe their tablet or their credentials to log in as them and maybe do some malicious thing in the yearbook. So it's just a level of safety there. So next we're going to go to the page ladder. So we're going to go to plan and then page ladder. Now we do have a YouTube channel right here where we go in depth. We have two webinars right here where we go in depth with the page ladder, um, where we talk more. We get like really involved in the page ladder in those. So in this one, I won't do it as much, but if you want to watch those two, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch those. But I'll give you an overview of the page ladder right here. First, we're going to talk about the color key right here. This year it's a lot more prominent. Here you can actually see in progress. Before it was just a small line on the bottom and on the side. This year is a lot more prominent. In progress, like I said, it has something saved on the page or something was saved on the page. Next, we're going to start with last year. Here's the button. If you click here and click continue, will take the pages that you had on last year's book and move them on to this year's book. Um, they will only move them to pages that are currently, um, here, let me try that again. There we go. Yeah, I tried that before there. That should work this time. So it will only take those pages from last year and put them onto pages this year that are in the not started category. Um, and that is in anything in progress, they will not put in the pages on from last year. So make sure if you want to use your pages from last year, make sure you don't touch anything on the page ladder or save anything on the page ladder. Do this, start with last year first. Next, one thing you'll notice that topics and sections right here in the upper left hand corner. Descriptions are now gone. They've been replaced with topics. Sections is now here instead of a little spot to type in. Real quick, we'll show this. So with topics, all you have to do is just type in what you want. So if you want staff, so here you can click the plus sign or you can hit the enter key on your keyboard and you'll have staff. You have a teal button with the zero in the middle of it. That's the number of pages that are currently being used with staff. So to put staff on the page, just click and hold, drag staff onto one or both pages, let go. Here in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it says staff. You can also use the drop-down menu and select staff right there. Here on the side right here where it says staff, that zero is now three. That means 3 pages have staff. So if I come over here and change that, you'll see that's now two. 2 pages have staff on them. Descriptions are now topics. So your topics could be, as you're typing, you will notice anything with staff or those letters, STAFF, are now somewhere right here. So it could be annual staff, office staff, staff candidates, whatever. Just select whatever you want to pick. So if you just want to do staff candidates, you can click on the plus sign. And then here's the topic or description or right here. You can just click and hold, move that over here. And then right here in the upper left-hand corner of the page, you'll see staff candidates. And you'll see one right there. Next to it is the little light bulb that's smart topics. So here you can click like on, here we are in the fall. So we can do the fall play or the fall dance. Sports, we can go just randomly scroll down and we can do boys ninth grade uh, basketball. We go back to my topics. The ones that we just clicked are now right here under my topics. So you can always click and hold and move those over to wherever they need to be. To add staff, we just click on staff and then we can click on any staff member that we want, click and hold, drag it over. If we don't need a staff member on that page, we could just click the X button right here next to their name and just grab another one and drag the other staff member on there. Yes, the recording goes out to everyone who signed up. We also have recordings on our YouTube channel afterwards as well. Okay, so viewing a proof. Uh, let's see. First off, let's talk about the filters because we get a lot of calls on this one. Filters right here, we have more. So if you do say, well, not that person. Let's go this person. So you want to see what one of the staff members working on and see all the pages that they have put on there. So you can search the filter through their pages. If for any reason um, that you're coming back to the pages and you see just this one page, or maybe you only see pages 1 through 10 or something like that, please check the filter right here. This is probably the first one you should go to is check the filter. If you see this yellow icon, that means a filter has been activated. So just click here, find the filter, click the down, click on it, go to all, or just come down to clear the filter, and all your pages come back. Yes. So the topics could be anything from. I mean, you can even do your own. It it really just helps if you have a set number of pages. So under fifth grade, you have okay. I have to do fifth grade candid. I have to do a fifth grade portraits and 4 fifth grade something. It just helps you to keep track of how many of that particular topic has been used on different pages. All right. So next, we're going to talk about transferring materials from last year's book to this year's book. If you have images in your 23 book that you want to move over, and I highly suggest if they are that you need to move them over as soon as possible. Um, to do that, just log back into your 23 book, and you can do that as easily. Just go back into the login, and then you'll see 24. Just select 23, log into your 23 account, and then you'll go to create an image library. Okay, sorry. It didn't like the fact that I went back there. Okay, so just go to create and then image library. And then in your 23 book, just click on whatever folder that you want the photos of. And then come up here, you'll see a folder with an arrow pointing to the right. Here you'll see 25, but for the 23 one, you will see 2024. And that's what you want to do is you want to move it to your 2024 book. So just click this button right here. Here you will see a arrow pointing to the right on the folder. That's how you know that it's been moved over. So when you log back into your 2024 book, go to My 2023 Images in your image library. Here you will see every folder that has been moved over from the previous year, including staff folders, which I highly recommend that you move any staff folders, especially the staff member that refuses to take a new photo every year. Move that over. Um, then from here, all you have to do is go under Activity, create a new folder of say like background icons, and then just click and hold, move that uh, image down to your new one right here, and here it is right here. You cannot move the folder out of 23 images here. You have to move, just click on it and just move the images either one at a time or holding Control A. Control A will select all, and then you can move all of them to there. Here, there you go. It just takes a second. Now you can move all of them to here. And then we will talk about this as well towards the end, especially when we were talking about completing your book and how to complete your book. But we will highly encourage you and highly suggest you do this if you're rebooking with us for next year, that you move or that you click this button for 2025, you move your images over for 2025. We are highly suggesting you do that. So next we're going to talk about fonts. So we're going to come up here to plan and then fonts. And excuse me just a second here. All right, there we go. So here's your fonts. So word advice, be careful about how many fonts you activate. The more fonts you activate, the slower this screen is going to get. So only activate the fonts that you know for a fact you're going to use. Don't let your staff get carried away with different fonts for every different line or whatever. Um, To view the font, all you have to do is just click on it, and it gives a preview right here of all the different fonts. To activate a font, we're going to click on this very first one. So please watch as I activate this one. So this one right here, as I hit the activate button, you're going to see it move right here to the very top. As you activate a font, it moves to the top in alphabetical order. As you deactivate a font, it moves to the bottom in alphabetical order. And we say this and we stress this because a lot of people will be down here and they'll start clicking activate. and they're not seeing it activate. Well, it is activating. It's just moving to the very top, and you've sat there and activated, 10 or 12 fonts without realizing it. So just be mindful once you click activate, it goes to the top in alphabetical order. Deactivate, and it goes to the bottom in alphabetical order. One font that I'm going to stress this a lot, do not deactivate Foundation Sans. This font right here is your default font for your default styles. These are your text boxes on the page. Every one of these have been created with Foundation Sans. If you deactivate Foundation Sans, you lose your styles. These styles go away, which means if you go onto a page and go to your text box, these texts, like caption, headline, subheadline, uh, tagline, those go away. So your default text boxes go away. So you'll have to go in and create your own styles or your own default text boxes. So do not touch Foundation Sans. That is also one that we get a lot of phone calls. My text boxes are gone. Well, we find out that they deactivated that one that we told them not to. Next is image share. So we're going to come up to replay it. So we're going to go to plan and then replay it. Here, it's going to ask you if you want a site for parents or others to share images. So here we're going to click this. Once you do, this will become lit up or become active. So next you're going to start with a start date, and it's got to look like this. It's got to be the year, the month, and the day. So 2023, it has to have the dash, the month, the dash, and then the day. If it's a single digit like this, like 03, you have to add that 0 and then the 3. So it has to be two numbers. Make the end date. Make sure that the end date is probably a few weeks before your book is to be finalized, because the last thing you want is images coming in at the very last second, and then you're having to like, well, great, now I got to add these images because if I don't, there's going to be that one parent. Um, so I would suggest a few weeks before your book is due. Once you're done with that, I'll also make sure it says 2024, not 2023, um, because it's very hard to accept images when it's already turned off. Also, the maximum number of images, 10,000, just leave that alone. I've never seen somebody get 10,000 images and then replay it. So you can just leave that alone. You don't even have to worry about that. Next is, do you want to enable the site? Just click that is yes, I want to enable it or allow it to be for people to use it. If for any reason you need to shut it off, just click that, hit save, and the site is deactivated. And then as soon as you're ready to accept photos, click that, hit save. Now the site is activated. Here is the link that you could just copy this, send it to your um, parents through either an email or a text blast. Do not share it to Facebook because Facebook will break this link. This replay it right here is a flyer that you can use. You can, this is the, when it asks for a user ID, this is the user ID right here. It is a unique ID and it is a one-off ID. So once you click save, fill everything out, click save, you get a one-time user ID for your site. Um, so like I said, it's unique. It can't be changed. So this is the user ID. So just put the user ID in the flyer. I can't show you that because it will mess up for some reason. Go to meeting, and this does not like to cooperate. So I have to be careful what I click on. All right. So next we're going to talk about. Oh, real quick here. When you do start getting images in, it's going to come in to this folder right here. the inbox replay it. You, as the advisor, have total access to this. Staff members do not. So if you want staff members to sort through the images, you'll have to put it in the inbox staff for them to access that. So you, as the advisor, are the only one with access to this box right here. So next, we're going to talk about why sending us your portrait CD is important. Uh, so the reason why it's important is we can upload. We have the ability to upload your images all in one go and put them in folders such as by teacher, by grade, by class. And we could do that. And we can also tag the names. That's what this little green tag is. We'll get more into that when we do the next webinar working with portraits. And by tagging, we can also put their names, sometimes their grade, and all that. So we can get all that ready to go when you're ready to do the flow part of this. Like again, we'll talk about that when we go into the portrait stuff. So that's the reason why you want to send us your CDs. It just makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, you're uploading if these images up one by one, and if you're a large school with like 500 kids, you're entering 500 different names. Where we can just upload everything all at once and it's done, and everything's ready to go. So that's one thing to consider if you want us to do that. All right, so let me read this outro real quick, and then we'll open it up to questions. So, real quick, I want to thank you all for joining us today, hopefully by showing examples of the areas of logging in, welcome page, page ladder, fonts, image share. Creating your book will be look less of a challenge, and you can avoid some of the pitfalls that accompany any computer software. Transferring materials from last year's book to this year's book can help you save time. Also, sending us your portrait CDs can help pay off in the long run. Feel free to join us next time with working with portraits, where we will talk about portraits, the autoflow function, and building some class pages. And I do hope to see you there because that will help and alleviate a lot of headaches uh, flowing those images. All right. Oh, I guess there's two things I forgot to, since you're all here. Real quick, once you send in a custom cover or any cover, your cover information could be found under status and cover. So that information could be found right here so you can approve it or not approve it and make any changes. If you ever need any further help, you can, of course, call in and email me. But if you just want to take a look at something real quick, you can click on help and then help again. It will take you to this site right here. Here we have video tutorials, getting started, online features, troubleshooting, different things like that. We also, like I said, have the YouTube channel right here. Um, next time we're getting started with portrait photo submission. So here's number 8, portrait photo submission. Why is that so? Here we go. So this talks about portraits. If you need to know, like, what do I need to get things done, or what do I need to get um, portraits submitted in and stuff like that. This whole area right here, we'll talk about it to show you what you need and help you out with all that information. All right, I'll take this time to open it up to any questions. You can type your questions or go ahead and ask it. Anything involving today's webinar, just go ahead and ask. And of course, if you think of anything, you can always call in or email the next day.
Hi there. Could you actually show again how you can pull pages forward from last year?
Yeah, so you go up to plan and then page ladder,
Mhm.
then click the start with last year, and then copies pages designs from previous year to all not started pages. So anything in yellow, green, or black, it will not put those pages on there. Just the ones in red, red border. down here at the bottom. So we're going to click
Mhm.
on continue. And it's ask, are you sure? Once you cannot undo the action, it just means there's no undo button like there was previously. Would you like to continue? And then you just click continue, and those pages will be on there. I don't have any uh, pages not started. All my pages are in progress, so that's why mine won't show those. But for any
Is there a
reason,
way
use
to only move forward to, like, select pages?
no, it'll move forward all the pages from last year,
And then
starting
you
with
can
page.
go back and then I'm assuming, like, remove the formatting or the
Yeah,
styling
yeah.
and all that.
So if you brought it over and you're like, well, page one this year changed, I can just Control A, select all, and delete. Come over, change background, remove background, and now I can start with this whole clean page again.
Mhm. Okay,
All right.
got it. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Okay, is there anything else? Any other questions, comments, concerns, inquiries?
I'm sorry. When you bring over the pages from last year, that's just bringing over the formatting, right? It's not bringing in all the photos that you used last year,
No, it will
or
not
it
bring
is?
up any of the photos. Um, so what it will do here, I'll bring this page back. So it'll bring up just this right here. If I was to go
Okay.
back to my 23 book, you will see that this actually had the school name and this had like the school mascot with the school slogan and whatever. Um, Now,
Okay.
this text right here, this is gibberish. And the
Right.
sole purpose of this gibberish is to maintain the size of the text box. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So it's literally just the text boxes and gibberish words, but it's
Right.
gonna be the format is gonna be brought forward. Like,
Right.
everything
Right.
else, words, pictures are all gonna be
Right. Because the system doesn't know what images you want. It doesn't know you
got it,
want
and
those words from
that's
last year. It just knows that you want this from last year.
got it. Okay, so then that's where you have to go back and move the pictures, the image
Right.
library.
Yes. You have to
Mhm.
move the photos from 23 to 24. And then we will be stressing you have to move the photos from 24 to 25.
So in our case, I'm on the PTA and we're actually responsible for our yearbook. I don't, I actually should inquire with our rep to make sure that we have access to the previous PTA's yearbook. Because it was a whole switch over. So typically it's the account for the school that holds the information, or is it going to be related to like the individual
Whoever is the
person?
registered advisor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
But
had a question. When you transfer over for last year, does the theme not transfer to the new theme? It's just layout.
yeah, just the layout. Just whatever was on last year's pages will be put on this year's pages.
Right, but
So
the theme,
if
whatever theme you select, will stick with the new one.
right, so if I go over
Got it.
to my 23 book, show you the difference. So you'll see like my 23 book, I had like I said, I had the name, the image. All it holds is just the placeholder for it. And so when I brought this over, I always update for the webinars, but it would bring this over right here. It would bring over like these boxes. It would bring over this flow element right here, but it's empty, no names, no students. This image right here would actually be just a blank image frame. This one right here would actually just be a blank image frame. The background would bring it over because the background already exists in the computer system. So, and it's ours. So we're just going to bring it over.
So this notepad, is this not the new theme? This is the
No,
part
this
of
is
the
last
break
year's. Yeah, this
pages.
is last year's page ladder.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Um, that's why we said like the load from last year. When we do that, that warning we got that says you cannot undo it, unlike last year where it says clear page design, and then it goes back to the load last year. Um, that's not there anymore. It's once it's loaded, it's loaded. And if you don't want it, you can go back to on each page and redesign each page.
Okay. But when you design, does it start with the new theme, or does it always
Now,
start from
when you
scratch?
design it, it starts off with a blank page.
Got it.
It all your pages when you first get in look like this. That's it.
Okay. Are there suggested layouts?
Um, it honestly, uh, whatever theme you want to do, your imagination is the limit. It's whatever you want to do with these books. I have seen the bare bones basic. It felt like I just want to get it done layouts, and I have seen some like what'd you do? Spend every waking moment on this? I mean, it's just pristine. It is just like wow, that's amazing. It's like the amazing work. Someone took a lot of care and a lot of love with it, and just an absolutely wonderful looking yearbook. So, like I said, your imagination is your limit. So, and uh, by the way, you do not have to go with our backgrounds or our stuff. If you find stuff that you want, you can bring it in as long as it's a JPEG or PNG or a TIFF. Um,
And going back to the adding pages from last year, would the reason you would want to do that is just if you like we're going to use the same exact cover as last year, or do
if
you
you're
want to
using the same exact layout as last year, if you want to get a leg up, if you want to
got
take like here's the same one from last year. Only thing I did was change the background, change this over, moved this icon from right down here at the bottom to right up here to the top.
Mhm.
Added another column of my flow element right here, and that's it. I'm done. This layout is done. I can move on to the next one. And we click on save, and there we
But
go.
would
So
it
we
be
can move on to the next
possible
one.
to like rinse and repeat the blue tiles, which is the layout, the on
Right.
top layer, and the background layer? You can just change that to the new
Yep.
theme,
Just
and
change
it
out the
almost
background,
looks new but
change out
similar,
the
right?
icons.
Yep.
So for this theme, my theme this year was animals. So I went with everything animals. I went up to my artwork, found under themes, animals, and that's all I did. Let's just change out. Last year
Mm.
was taking notes. Um, I personally in my demo I pick up a theme and I just stick with the theme. Um, so last year was taking notes, so everything was note based. This year it's animals, so I just picked out animals and just started putting animals on different things and changing backgrounds that kind of looked nice. Um, and so just kind of mixed and matched. So yeah, so the whole idea of just moving your image from last year to this year, it just gives you a leg up. It gives you somewhere to start. It gives you somewhere to manipulate things and to make things look a little better.
Got it.
So continuing on this, so if you bring everything forward from last year, let's just say you've decided that you last year's pages 7 and 8, you actually want to be, 23 and 24. Can you move that 2-page spread? Just can you rearrange the pages
Yeah. So if I
uh,
wanted
in
pages
this
6 and
view?
7 down here, I can move that. So if you watch 6 and 7, 0607, just watch, keep your eye on it. It's if I move it down, you can still see 0607 right there. And if you look above it, that says 0809. That just lets you know where the pages are.
Hmm.
Um, and you can actually see the pages move in real time. This is the brand new page mover, and you can see pages move real time. So no more guessing about how it's going to look. So as soon as I just let go, and then there we go. It's now page 22, 23, and this is now page 6 and 7. If
And
I
then
don't,
yep. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. Now, if I don't like it, I can just move it back up, move pages, and there we go.
Can you move a single page, not a spread?
Yes. So over here, you'll see that double is right there. Then here's single,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just see them kind of like
Beautiful.
step aside.
They separate almost. Mhm.
So then you can kind of move, and you can see all the pages kind of moving to the side.
Mhm.
And this is the greatest thing right here that's real time. Before you kind of had to guess, but now it's real time. You can kind of see where it's going. Also, be careful with moving single pages because if you're trying to keep a spread and you move a single page, now you have um, you'll have like second and third grade on this, and then there are candidates on another
Mhm.
page. Um, so kind of keep it be mindful about moving single pages.
Yep. Thank you. That's very
Yep.
helpful. And that's
If-
sorry. Where is that? That's under page mover. That's
Yep.
what that's called.
Page letter right here, and then swing over to page mover.
Okay.
And we
You
put
have
it right,
any
it's still right here, so create and then page mover, but they put it right
Oh,
here so
sure.
you can just hot swap between them.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any pre-made pages?
There are templates, and we'll get that into uh, the fourth, well, really the third webinar, working with design. And so those are in design, and then you can come down here to like Page Surfer or your advertiser and stuff like that. And then here's like candids. And so here's your candid pages. You can just click and hold and drag them over, and they're
Right.
ready to go.
Thanks.
But real quick, if you do, let's see, here you go, click and goes. These are grouped together. Just come up to arrange and ungroup, and then you can start manipulating them any way that you need to.